Tofu was thought to originate in China over 2,000 years ago. It was developed as a plant-based source of protein. In fact, about 4 ounces of firm tofu has 9 grams of protein. I think of tofu as kind of an ingredient. It doesn't have much taste on its own, but if you mix it with spices and flavorings and marinades, it tastes fabulous. For savory dishes, you could use tofu for an eggless egg salad. You could make quiche out of it. You could make a tofu scramble. You could also stir fry it, make soups and stews, and you could also bake it in a casserole, like lasagna. A lot of people bake it. You can also pan fry it. For the sweet side, you can puree it, put it into smoothies. You can make puddings, add chocolate or vanilla. Pies are also very good, and a lot of people use tofu for brownies and muffins and all sorts of other baked goods. Now, tofu can be found in just about every grocery store these days, but with just a little extra effort, it's hard to beat the fresh taste of fresh homemade tofu. Today I'm going to show you how to make soy milk, and then we're going to turn the soy milk into tofu. It takes about 2 hours to make this, plus you need to soak the beans for 8 to 10 hours. Here's the equipment you'll need. About 1.5 gallons of water, 2 stock pots and a stirring spoon, a sieve and a cup to strain the fiber from the soy milk, and if you don't have that, you could use cheesecloth and a colander. You'll need a sieve to wash the beans. I find I always need extra bowls, so at least 1 extra bowl. You'll also need a tofu press. This is made of wood, but they also come in stainless steel. 3 parts. This fits on top. You'll put some cloth or muslin inside, which will be used to strain out the curds from the whey. Once it's all in there, you would cover it up and press it down with the top. You'll need about 2.5 cups of soybeans, which is either a pound or about 450 grams. And the coagulant is called nigari. You'll need 3 to 4 teaspoons of nigari. If you can't find nigari, you could also find calcium sulfate, which is a mineral also known as gypsum. You'll need a thermometer. And lastly, you'll need a food processor. These are dried soybeans. You'll need about 1 pound or 450 grams or 2.5 cups. We'll need to rinse them and cover them with water and soak for 8 to 10 hours. After 8 to 10 hours, your soybeans will look like this. Rinse them and let's make soy milk. First, we'll need to grind up the soybeans. Put your soybeans in your food processor, cover it with water, and grind them for 4 to 5 minutes until they're pureed. Okay? Grind the soybeans until they turn white and about the consistency of cream of wheat. Because soybeans are really sticky, wash all of your pots and pans right after you use them. Put the pureed soybeans into your pot. I'm using 2 pots today because it tends to boil over. If you had a large canning pot, like a 20 to 33 quart pot, that would... This is where you use your gallon of water. I'm going to divide it between my 2 pots. Bring everything to boil, lower to simmer, and cook for 15 to 20 minutes. As you can see, there's quite a bit of foam on top of this. When it's simmering, you'll need to tend to the pot very carefully so that it doesn't boil over. It's been simmering for about 18 minutes. I stirred all that foam right back into it. Now we're going to strain out the soybeans. Ladle your soy milk through your strainer. You'll see that the ground soybeans get left behind. Many people use this product, it's called okara, for baking, in bread, or even in burgers. After you've drained the soy milk out of the okara, there's still more soy milk in there. So you can wrap it in cheesecloth and squeeze. After you've squeezed that okara, you'll have a little bit of soy milk left. Add that to your clean pot, and we'll bring this to about 180 degrees. Dissolve 2 to 3 teaspoons of nigari in 1 cup of warm water. When the soy milk reaches about 180 degrees, which we're very close. Oh, we are at 180 degrees. I turn off the heat, add the nigari, stir it in very, very gently, turn the heat back up, and then it will start separating. You can see it happening already. If it doesn't separate in just a couple of minutes, mix another batch. This is 1.5 teaspoons of nigari in about 1/2 cup of water and add it. Sometimes it takes a little bit more of the nigari to have it separate properly. Stir gently. Now you can clearly see that it's separating and turning into curds, looking like curds and whey actually. And just right there, the liquid went clear. And what's left is going to be turned into tofu. Just ladle the mixture into your tofu mold and we'll let it drain. Once you have all the curds in the box lined with muslin, wrap the muslin around it. Put on the top piece of the wood here. Press it down gently. And using something that weighs anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds, just hold it down on top. Let that sit for 20 minutes and you'll have tofu. After your tofu has been in the press for half an hour or so, it's time to put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator. Just remove the weight, take out, just lift off the box, open up the muslin, and you've got a lovely block of tofu. You need to take this off the tofu gently. And then what we're going to do is place it in a container. We'll cover it with water and put it in the refrigerator. This will keep in your refrigerator for maybe a week, but you need to change the water every day or so to keep it fresh. Here's the okara. You can use it for bread or other baking projects.